Hi YouTube, it is I Am Nubian with I Am Nubian Customs, and right now I have some men's pants, and as you can see, they're a little bit dingy, a little bit worn and torn in, a good worn in jean. These are a 36-32. I really like the pockets on these, they're kind of cool. And I'm about to be making some thigh-high boots with these. But before we get to that part, I'm gonna cut these in bleach individual panels and things of that nature. And then I'm gonna cut along the seams and stuff, I think. That's how I'm gonna do this, because I want some of these raw edges and stuff still intact, but I want like some fringe on it so I can go up around the zippers, and it'll be easier for me to keep that straight edge without going overboard, and that way the fray can cover the zipper. And these are the boots, so you can see what I'm talking about. I had these boots for about 2 years. I worn them a couple of times. I'm tired of them, so. And we don't have a Charlotte Russe anymore, but I'll end up finding some more black boots. So what I'm talking about is if I cut along this but leave a little bit, it'll fray just right to where I can line that up along my zipper. And then it had like some detail, but look like the boot, is seamless or something. You feel me? And these are thigh high. They had like a little suede-ish material to it. And again, I got these from Charlotte Russe about 2 years ago. These are size 9. So, yeah. I am using fabric scissors. You can use regular scissors, but I prefer these because that's what I used in school, and I can tell the difference because this is what I go to school for. So, I don't know. But you can still do it with some regular old school scissors, or if you got like some kitchen like cutters, those work like fabric scissors close enough too because of the sharpness of it, and it won't. But since you're gonna be having frays and stuff anyway, I guess it really wouldn't matter. But yeah. And then I'm gonna just do different panels, different type of ways with different cuts, so I can have each piece like individual, and I'm gonna bleach them. And then that way when I go wash at my mom's, it'll be how I need it to be to place all the panels on here. So I'll come back in just a second. Ciao. Okay, so I went ahead and cut up the pants. I decided to keep this piece intact, and if you look real close, I went in with my scissors and made cuts in these. When I wash them and do the bleach and everything, you'll be able to see more definition in them. But for the most part, this is what it looks like. And also on the belt loop, I put some cuts in there. I don't know if you can see it. Right here. So that way it has some definition. Also cut out the pockets. I did some cuts on there as well. There's one panel. And on the raw edge, I just start pulling like this to get some of that fray out, so when it does hit the water, it starts to get that fray in there. I put some cuts. That's just one panel. I also decided to do the bottom, and on the opposite, I did the top. So I have like the flip-flop effect when I go ahead and put it on there. And some more cuts. And I'm going to go ahead along this edge and start pulling those out. This way out. As you can see. Just start pulling them to get that fray started. Nothing major. That's what we're gonna do on all of those edges. I'll also put some cuts in here. And after I start cutting furthermore to place the placements on there, I'm gonna show y'all what the definition of everything looks like. And all of that. I'm just showing y'all pre because I know some people like to see the pre. So you know what's going on. I cut the white parts off too. When you're doing that, just make sure you're real close up on the edge as you can, because if not, when you try to go back in and cut it off, it's gonna be hard. So just put the scissors real close up on there and get as close as you can. Let's put some more. Oops, nothing major. And then I kept the raw edge on this, but I left a little bit so it can have a little bit of fringe. And I kind of like these marks in here. That's why I chose to use these pants, because I feel like it was enough material instead of using a whole bunch of pants and then I have a whole bunch of scraps. And then if I want to make something else, I didn't have nothing to make anything else. So I thought this was the smarter choice. And again, these are the boots that we are working with. Alright, so this is everything pre-plucked before washing, just to get some of those threads and everything loose on the pieces, on the raw edges. And what I did was I took a seam ripper. If you can't get a hold of a seam ripper at the hair store, they have thread cutters, and that works just the same as a seam ripper. And just pull your fingers and pull those threads out like this. And as you wash, it'll further come out. And so when I wash this and everything, you're gonna see more definition in those pockets. But I started to do some on this pocket. Okay, so now we're on to the bleaching process. I did spray bleach on these last night. However, I did not blow dry them with the blow dry method to where you can see what your bleach results are going to be before you wash it. So what I'm going to do is, instead of washing this in a load of clothes, I'm gonna go ahead and hand wash it in my sink, and so I can see where I want more bleach at or not, and continue the bleach process. And for this process, I do use a spray bottle. This is not what's in here, what it says. Here goes my bleach right here. You can use any type of bleach that you want. All bleach does the same thing, just the more diluted, the less potent, so it's not going to turn as fast. It's going to be more of a lighter wash on the jean or wherever you spray at. And so what you want to do is you want to fill this up to bleach about right here, and then the rest water for the best results. And also, like I said, you want to have a blow dryer if you want to see your results up close, and to blow dry as you go, or if you can do the outside method. And what you want to do is have a plastic bag down or some type of fabric that you don't care about, and have it directly in the sun so the natural rays from the sun can go ahead and heat it up, and it does its chemical effects that it needs to do for the wash. So right now, I'm just going to go ahead and put this on lukewarm water. Make sure the sink is all messed up. Good. So just mix something down. So just make sure it's all clean. Okay. And you want it on lukewarm, mostly like cold, because bleach reacts to cold water better. And like I said, I had this in a bag last night. So I really don't know how much bleach is really on these pieces until it dries. I have another video with a clip of me doing the method that I'm talking about, but it's not uploaded yet. The shirt is mostly finished that I did that on. I have other projects where I did it on, but yeah, y'all get the gist. It's nothing major. So let's see. I don't know if you can see it. I might have to go in again with some more bleach. So I'm gonna go ahead and just hand wash this and come back and blow dry like one of the pocket pieces or something since it's smaller with the blow dryer and see how the effect came out. And I did cut the jeans into 4 panels. And there goes the 4th one right there. So yeah. Alright. I went ahead and rinsed everything with lukewarm cold water and wring it out. Some of the definition showed up a tad bit, but it wasn't how I liked it. So I went ahead and folded the pieces in half one time, and I layered them across and put the smaller pieces on top and went in with the actual bleach bottle and splashed on there in different variation pieces. I lifted up some pieces and went in as well to make sure everything soaks through, and these are damp because I just rinsed and wringed them out. So I'm gonna let this sit while I go hang out. I'm probably gonna let it sit for a good 2 hours. Go ahead and rinse again and pop them in the dryer, and I'll see you when I get to that process. This is how it came out before rinsing. Just straight bleach. Okay, so I did the wash and dry, and this is how everything came out. And I'm just starting on this one boot so far because I got it out right now. I put the other one up. I don't feel like getting it out. But however, I'm trying to do this the easiest way, so I thought just using the bigger pieces that I needed to use would be fine. So I started off with on the zipper part, and I made sure there's enough room so I can place my layerments in there right, so everything is, you know, seamless and lapping over how it needs to. And I just went ahead on the zipper. All of this is still loose, but I wrapped it around and I stuffed a flannel and like 2 towels in here to make it a stiff shoe. And what I'm going to do is for right here, I don't think that I want it to be a raw edge, or even if I do want to leave it a raw edge, I'm going to cut about a centimeter. Well, not a centimeter, but you know, like a ½ inch of seam allowance. That way, if I want to tuck it, I can tuck it down. Or if I do want to like have it frayed or whatnot, I can glue it and still have it frayed around the edges. And then cut my desire how I want it. But so far, this is how the boot is turning out. And then this part is gonna lap right here. Then just add in some more pieces. And again, I use men pants. It was size 36, 32 or something like that. It's in the beginning of the video. Yeah. So just remember when you're doing this to make sure that when you glue, you're gluing to where you got some room left so you can stick your pieces in there. And I am using my favorite glue. You can find this at Walmart. I'm probably going to end up getting another one just in case, because I only have another half of one of this. This is brand new. I just opened it. So during the end of this, you should know how many I use. But yeah. It works really, really good. I never did boots like this before, but like I said, it works really good on other projects that I've done using it. So, alright, I'm going to come back when I start layering in some other pieces. I'm just going to go ahead and cut this, and I am using fabric scissors. So, alright. As you see, I'm placing the glue to where it's not touching the edges. So if I wanted to go in and put fabric under, it's not all the way to the edge where I can't do that. And I'm going to flip it over. Before doing this, make sure you push down on the towel or whatever fabric that you got inside of your boot. And also, if you got cut surface like this, make sure you're paying attention to where you're putting your glue. So if you're not going to put glitters or anything on the exposed part, that you're not having a big glue spot, and it takes away from the glue. And I'm just pulling taut so that way everything is super tight how it needs to be. Because these boots are a little bit big on me because I don't have really big thighs like that. So, and these are thigh high boots, so they kind of rub down on me. So I want to make sure these are as tight as possible. So I'm going to just go off camera because I don't have one that can sit while I'm doing this to show y'all. But yeah, for the most part, you're just going to pull taut and stand the boot up and adjust as you need. Just keep pulling taut so all that glue. And I also like to rub like this to make sure everything is on there and pressed in. That's how that came out. It's just that seam allowance on here. So I glued it down. It's not super set, but just to show y'all enough that that's my seam allowance that I have to play with. I kind of did it super tight right here, but it still lifts up for the most part where it can still slide under there. But I wanted to make sure that curve was up on there, right? Because how the jeans go. So after you put your other piece under there, you just pull taut and make sure everything is good. Okay, excuse my mirror, but so far this is how the boot is coming out. I have a lot of details on. And I'm probably going to stuff it back because it was easier, and like I said, because my legs are super skinny compared to the actual boot. But I think they're going to come out good. I'm going to leave this off frayed and fringed. I'm going to go back through and wet this and fringe that when I get all the way done. Yeah, it's got little things hanging from it and all of that. I'm still debating on how I want to do the toe of this. But for the most part, this is how everything is. I'll finish the back. So what I used to stuff my boot was this flannel. I just rolled it up long ways and then stuffed it in there till it was real firm. And I also use a towel like this and two medium hand towels as well. So you can use whatever you want to use to stuff it. It's just, that's what I use. So, and it works. So just depending on how high your boot is, that's, you're gonna need more fabric to stuff. Okay, so I am done with boot number 1. And this is how it came out. I'm really digging it. on the top. I still have to fray these top parts right here. And on the parts that I cut that had just a raw edge, I went back in with my seam ripper and just poked at the areas that I needed. And on my second boot, because it was time consuming, I'm gonna just do my layers and just leave some seam allowance, because I ended up overlapping on something that took up time where I could just been gluing it onto my next boot. I used just about the whole tube of Fabri-Tac, so I probably have to go get another bottle of that. And I retail for about like $6 or so. It's not that expensive. It's just I gotta go to Walmart to get it, and Walmart is far as hell where I live at. So this is with it not on, and get it up close. I made sure the zipper is able to unzip, but it still has that urbanness and rawness to it. I'm gonna wipe off the heel of that because it just has some salt on it from the winter time. This part was hanging from the bottom, so I just glued it under one of the pieces so it can have some pizzazz and some dangleness to it. And for this part, I just took a small piece and then went back in so this could lay flat as possible without looking too wonky. And no, this is not the shoe wrinkled up. This is the actual bleach design on there. This is laying pretty flat on there, so yeah. I use exactly one pants leg, and this is all I have left over from using that. Just this little piece, and this little piece. I still have the pockets that I had cut off, and I still have a whole nother pants leg to work with for the other boots. So it was exactly enough fabric, and I loved how they turned out. And once I get done with the other boot, that's when I probably go in with the pockets and everything and see where I want to place those at, or extra pieces to make it more, you know, layered effect on there or whatnot. Okay, you guys, so I am finally done with the second boot. I still have a little bit of material to add on, like for extra pieces or whatnot. And it took me a couple of days longer than what I suspected because I ran out of material. Not material, but the supplies that I used to make the actual shoes. That's how it's turned out. And I am loving it. If I wouldn't have ran out of the supplies that I need to make this, it probably would have took me all of 3 days to make these, because I have to bleach, wash, dry, cut. I have to go back in and poke and rip at the fringes and everything on there, so it is time consuming. So I know a lot of people like, you're just gluing it on there, but it's more to it in the aesthetic than what meets the eye. So if you want your custom drips, let me know. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'm going to come back once I put the finishing details on both of the boots. Ciao. Okay, I just wanted to come to y'all and show y'all with the boots on. And I do have on shorts, so I don't want nobody coming for me in the comments saying I have on panties. I have on shorts. And excuse my voice because while recording this, like I said, my allergies have been going crazy. So my voice is all messed up. But yes, I am loving these. And again, this is before I put on the finishing touches on the boots. I feel like this one came out a little bit more wrinkly, but I mean, they're wrinkled everywhere, so. And I want to say before I put this on here, these used to fall down on me. The jean is making it more stiff to where they fit a little bit better. So I'm liking that, so I don't have to constantly pull them up every 5 seconds. Yeah. Sorry, I'll try to spin around. Hold this on at the same time. And the zippers are functional. I don't have a hard time with none of that. So if you're gonna do this, make sure that you're not blowing your zippers, but getting as close as you can. Most boots like this, they come with a stitching around it, and just use that stitch as your guideline to lay your glue. And when you rub, use the nozzle of whatever glue you're using and rub it across the fabric to flatten it. And that should help with not getting too much on your zippers. And it spreads to make the fabric stick a little better too, without using too much product in one area. So that's always a plus. Also, I ended up using, if you get the small bottles of fabric tack, you're probably going to need about 3 bottles, and they retail for about $8 at Walmart after tax or whatnot. Or you could get 2 of the bigger size bottles, which are 8-ounce bottles, and those retail for about $12 after tax at Walmart. And I use fabric tack glue. It comes, matter of fact, I have it right here. 1 second. This is the second bottle that I used. So this is the 8-ounce. The one that's for about $7-8 is a 4-ounce bottle. And for the second boot, so I used about a whole bottle for the first boot. I had a quarter of the small one left, and I started this boot, and I finished off with this. That's why I said if you get the smaller ones, you might need 2 to 3, depending on how much layering you're doing. Or you can get 1 or 2 of these, and it should be enough. Because I only used about a third, a little over a quarter. So yeah, like a third of this bottle. And I think and then when I bought it, also check it, because I feel like this one was already open. Like somebody opened it in the store or something, because when I bought it, it was like about right here. And then when I went to go open it, it was already open. So just make sure you're checking that when you're at the store. And again, I'm sorry. My allergies are crazy.
we're having like a late spring, I don't know. And excuse my nails too, they're raggedy. My birthday is like in 10 days, so we're just gonna rock out like this for right now. So we'll be back with the finishing touches.